everybody. Thanks for tuning in to our component portion of this do-it-yourself series. Gonna warn you ahead of time, I don't have a tripod or anything, so, you know, this is this is what you get. Camera's gonna be moving around a bit. I apologize for that. And if you see any of the junk in the background, please know that we have a merchandise business. We do vinyl decal work, we do custom 11-ounce coffee mugs and whatnot. So if you have any interest in that, go to disabledbydesign.com, and there's a link down in the description. So, not trying to sell off, but sometimes people are in the market for that kind of stuff. So, I wanted you to know why we have a mess in the background. Alright, so here's the component portion of it, and these are the batteries. Everything's going to be linked in the description, just like it was in the last video. And this is for my setup, which isn't totally complete yet. I still got to get a bike, actually. So here's two of the batteries, two of the 4 batteries that are sitting here. Earlier I had showed you her batteries, which are right there still charging. So these are 2 of 4 of mine, so I have to get 2 more. Let me get these off the table here. Again, sorry for the shakiness, not much I can do there. The batteries come in this box here, okay? They'll be in one of those like padded USPS envelopes, and if you get it from the person that the link is down in the description box, that's how they'll come. So I'm actually pretty impressed with how they ship them. So just a little heads up, I know when I had purchased the first 2 batteries, he had sent me 1 tracking number, although that there was 2 packages. Fortunately, the tracking number that he gave me, I had to hang up with the post office. Wasn't his fault. Had to hang up with the post office. So it came a day later than the other one. One showed up. I was surprised. I'm like, huh? And it didn't have the same tracking number that I had in eBay. So just to make you aware of that, if you would have a problem with ordering 2 and didn't get one of the 2 or something, just contact him. I'm sure he's got the, him or her, I don't know for sure. I'm sure they have the other tracking number for you. So, just giving you a heads up on that. I want you to be prepared as much as possible. Now, this has been opened only because I took the tire out to mount on one of the rims for Jen's trike on her back. Well, it was actually the front wheel that was on it. I wanted to make sure, that being a bigger tire, that it would fit on the smaller rims. Not smaller as in they're both 26-inch, but it didn't look like it was quite as wide maybe as what the electric wheel is. But apparently it is. It fit fine and everything. I wanted to let you know why I've got the box open. This is pretty much just like an unboxing, except I did have everything open, make sure everything was in the box, all that, you know. To me, that's being responsible. Here's the tube that they come with. So, that has had air in it. It does have a valve stem. I didn't put it back on. It's sitting in the living room. So, it comes with this. You've seen that in the last video, in her basket. That's where your motor controller, where you can put your motor controller in. It's kind of nice. It's got some Velcro connectors, so you can connect it to the tubes on your bike. So, kind of a nice little pack. I like that. I've seen various different kits. I really, to be honest, I like this one. I like the twist throttle control more than what I like the idea of the thumb throttle control. And I've seen other kits that have a different bag for the motor controller. I like this one. I like the design of this one. I really, really do. So, you get your manual here. And I've paged through it, but I watched tons of review videos, install videos, and stuff like that, so I really didn't need the manual much when I put Jen's bag together. So it may have some chinglets in it, as we call it, but that is the manual. Let me grab my knife here. I should probably have adult supervision. That's a joke, by the way. Turned 45 last May, so, but I still need adult supervision. So let me go ahead and pull this little thing out here. Cut it down, get that over there. Okay. This is what you will find in here. Right here, this is where I was talking about the twist throttle control. It's just like a motorcycle would be, for instance. Let me try and snake this bag off of here, if I can, so you can see it better. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have a tripod that I can readily use. So anyway, that is the throttle control, and it's got the on-off button there, and it's got your empty, half, and full LED indicators to let you know how your battery is doing. And there's your connector. This is the 5-pin connector. I'm sorry, the 6-pin. When you look around on videos and stuff for people that swap stuff out or change stuff out, little stuff like that is important. So I apologize, it said 5 at first. No, this is a 6-pin connector because it has the on and off button. It's got the LED indicator and of course the throttle control itself. So it doesn't seem to be a bad unit. Again, it's not like we have 1,000 miles on it yet or anything like that, but it seems to be well made. Here's the handle grip for the other side. Here is the brakes. You do replace your brake handles, and these have a little tiny switch right here, as you see. And what happens is when you pull on your throttle, it opens that switch up, so the motor will actually quit. It will turn off. So when you squeeze your brake, the moment you start squeezing that brake, that motor will automatically shut off, which I think is a wonderful safety feature. So, and of course, you got 2 of them for left and right. Here's this is to wrap your wires in, your cable in. It kind of keeps them a little bit nicer. What I did is not only did I wrap all the wires in it, but on the ends, I used electrical tape, and I taped up the ends real good. And probably, I don't know, maybe about every 6 to 8 inches or so, I put a little bit of a wrap of tape just to kind of help hold it really good. Okay, this is your pedelec system, okay? I do not have this installed on Jen's bike. Over in England, some of the places, you have to have this. You have to use this for the e-bike to be legal. However, in the United States, that's not the case. You don't have to use it, and so I have not installed it on Jen's bike, and I'm undecided yet. I think I'm going to probably put it on my bike when I finally get one. I think I'm going to put it on my bike, but I don't know, to be honest, if you have this unit plugged in, if it will still start without you moving the pedals or not. But either way, if it doesn't, all it is one little plug that I have to disconnect. That's it. But I would like to have that option of just having the pedal assist is what they call it. That's what that is, and it's actually 2 pieces there. This is what they call a Hall effect sensor here. And then this ring that turns, those silver things there are magnets. And that Hall effect sensor picks up on those magnets. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff out there you can read on understanding that type of system a little better. Really don't want to go that deep into electronics on a component video. So here's your motor controller. And of course we won't zoom there. But there is the motor controller. And seems to be a pretty decent unit. And if I'm correct, by the way, others I've seen look at it, this must have 5 MOSFETs in it. Those screws you see there, those screws actually are screwed to the MOSFETs, okay, and they probably got some thermal paste on them. And what that does is it helps keep them cool, because MOSFETs get kind of hot. So I would assume this has got 5 MOSFETs. I'm not, you know, don't take my word on that for sure. I've not pulled it apart. No intentions of pulling it apart if it don't have any problems. So let me, oh, and you do get some, they're kind of cheap, to be honest. You do get some zip ties with it. And they're kind of cheap, but, you know, I would tell you with these, get some better zip ties. Get some that are rated for UV, for ultraviolet rays, so that way if your bike sets out in the sun or just from out riding it in the sun, if these aren't UV protected, if these aren't the good zip ties, it won't take long and they'll get real brittle, they'll crack and break, and you don't want that. So let me kind of just set everything back in here and get this off the table. And we'll get down to the serious stuff in here. Okay, I'm going to try and do this one-handed. Get rid of these styrofoam blocks, trying not to break them. I already broke one from when I got the tire out. I just try to keep packaging and stuff as best as I can. Start getting this bag off of here. Styrofoam end cap. I'll pull it off. And this is the rim. Okay? You've got your cable there. And I did test this unit. I also did that when I had the box open. I wanted just to make sure that it worked okay so I could leave proper feedback. So, but everything seems to be just fine with it. Seems to work okay. So I'm really happy. Again, this is the second unit that we purchased. I will tell you one thing about this though, that many people probably would not. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's holes in here. This is called a double wall. There's holes in there so you can access the spokes, so you can tighten or loosen them or whatever you need to do there. Now, here's the thing. Every bicycle rim, and I've worked on bicycles since I was 8 years old, every bicycle rim I've ever seen has a rubber band that goes in here. It's just a piece of rubber that goes around it, and what it does is it protects the rubber inner tube from the end of the spokes poking through it. Now, I've already seen videos on YouTube where folks have not done anything with this, just put the tire and the tube on it and wound up popping the tube. So just a word of advice, either purchase one of those rubber pieces. You can probably get it at Walmart. I'm sure you get it at any bike shop or anything. Just get a 26-inch, and it'll go right in there. It's just a rubber. It's a band. I'm not trying to make you think of a little rubber band that you would use in an office or whatnot. It's a big band, rubber band, and it just acts as something to protect the tube from getting cut. In this case, by the holes, but in most cases, I don't know if you can see it down in there, but down in there, there's a yeah, I think I can see it in the camera here. There's a head in there for the spokes. On rims that aren't double wall, that's what you're protecting from. But from this, you'd be protected from the holes because it's got a little bit of an edge there. So please make sure you do that. That way you won't wind up with a flat somewhere. So there's all kinds of different ones out there, different prices and stuff like that. Okay, but I have looked. And I'll tell you what, I think most all of them are coming from one company. If it's got a sticker, okay, that looks anything like that, with the red and the white lettering and all that, I think Champion's the brand of one. High Power or something like that I've seen as well. This one obviously is Power Circle. The one on Jen's bike is Power Circle as well. So if you see anything like that at all, it's probably the same manufacturer. So, and some of them I've seen are quite expensive, to be honest. So just kind of letting you know on that. And of course, underneath of it here, kind of hold build this out. Underneath of it here is the tire. You do get a tire with it, so, and you get the tube, but like I say, neither one of the two kits had that rubber ring in there. Do yourself a favor, get that rubber ring. Okay, and I'm going to show you the rest of the components I bought. All of this stuff, who I got it from, where I got it from, the actual sale pages are going to be linked down in the description, just like the last video. I'm just going to do a copy paste there. Alright. Now I got some of this stuff kind of mixed matched up because it's, you know, my project. So, these, I believe I got 50 male and female connectors. These are the cheap bullet connectors I was talking about. My advice, do as I say, not as I do. Get you a little better quality bullet connectors. But I'll put the link down there anyway, just in case you like to live on the cheap side. So, that would be bullet terminals. Here is, I listed the solder that I used, that I bought down there. Here's what's left after doing hers. And I kind of changed up a few things after I initially had hers set up. I went and I kind of changed stuff. I'll show you. And so I used more solder than I probably really would have needed to. So I've already got some of my wires cut here. And as you can see, the wire I have, of course, in the description, and these ring terminals I have in the description. And so I've already pre-cut some of the stuff there for doing that. Now, let's see. Here is the wire I purchased. I thought that was a pretty good deal on that wire. 10 gauge wire. It's you get both. I think it is 10 feet of black and 10 feet of red. And I thought that was a pretty good deal. It seems to be a really good quality wire. So, also, here, let me. This for some of the project that I had on hers. I was doing it up different originally, so that's why you see those like that. I'm actually, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be recycling the terminals off of here, and even possibly some of the short wires. So I'm just going to be reusing that instead of ordering brand new ring terminals when there's no need for it. So, and those are soldered. They're not crimped. They're soldered. I would recommend that you probably do both. I didn't have a crimper, so but I'd worked in an electronics lab. This isn't my first rodeo with wiring and electronics and stuff, so I did a pretty good soldering job on those. Plus my soldering iron, I have a 60 watt soldering iron, which is more geared for a little heavier stuff. It's definitely not for like circuit boards. So that 60 watt iron worked real good on these. Okay, and the rest, got a couple parts in there. They're her bike. Her pedals are locked up. I've got them in a position to where they're not really pedals at this point. They're foot pegs, more or less, at this point. She has to have a shorter crank for her bike, and I haven't gotten there and gotten that yet. I'm still trying to locate shorter crank arms for a 3-piece crank. I think hers are like 6.5 roughly, and I need 4.5. I'm trying to find them. They seem to be a pretty elusive animal. So at this point in time, I've actually got her chain bound up, and I took, it has a square tapered on the 3-piece that the crank goes to the shaft. And so what I did is I just popped one side off. I rotated it 180 degrees, put it on, tightened the bolt down. So both pedals, instead of one being up and one being down, both of them are going the same direction. And I just pushed them up to, you know, where it was about right. And I locked the I locked the chain so that it couldn't move. So, and somewhere I've got her the sprocket for the rear axle. I've got it somewhere, not in this bag obviously. But there's a key here that goes to the rear sprocket on her rear axle, and then this also goes on there. That's what holds the key in place and holds it all tight. So wanted you to know what those extra components were in there. They're not anything that you would get with your kits or anything. So this here, okay, I cannot stress this enough. This, get it Don't cheap out. Get it. These are torque arms, okay? And I'm telling you right now, if you don't get torque arms, you're gonna wish you did. Some bikes have a little inset in the what they call the dropout on the fork. For the bikes that have a little inset on the dropout, you need this, okay? Because you can't get the bolt to tighten down good without that being in there. So, or the nut, I'm sorry, the nut. You can't get the nut to tighten down good because it's a much bigger nut than the original that's on there. So, that's why those are in there. Her bike did not have those insets. Those insets are more commonly with the aluminum forks. But I think some steel ones have them from what I've been seeing. But she's got a steel and it didn't have insets. So, we didn't need to use that. But what this is there's a flat. And I'll show you in just a second here. Getting the rest of the parts out here. Okay, so you see that rectangle hole in there. What it is, let me spin this around here and I'll pop the cap off of here, maybe. And if you can see, there is flats on there. And these fit a bit loose on there, but you get the idea. The idea is it's to catch on that. So what that does is it helps prevent your axle from spinning in your dropout. Because if it does, your wheel will come off and it will not be a good day, okay? And without these, regardless of how tight you tighten that nut, over time, it will get enough room wiggled in there that it will eventually spin, and it could ruin your fork. It could ruin your day because your wheel comes off. If you're going very fast, you might go over the handlebars and be just a bunch of no fun. So please get these torque arms. The link to them are in there. Now, I ordered a set of 2. I've seen a lot of people say that you really need to put 2 on a front one. I've only got 1 on hers. And it seems to be doing fine. I don't see any problems with it at all. I was going to put both of them on it, but if there's no problems with it, and I haven't shown any problems, the nut hasn't loosened up or anything like that, seems to be doing a super job. So I don't see the benefit of going and putting the other side on, especially since I would have to take all the terminals out of here and all that so I could get this slid over that. I don't see why I go through all that if it's not needed. Not only that, but considering this is going on a second bike, that means I've already got this and I don't need to order more. So you've got this part. I showed you where it goes, right? So you take this part and it goes on top of it like that, and you have a nut, and you have, sorry if I was a little out of view there, you have a nut. And that is, by the way, a Teflon lock nut. And you have a hex head screw. And that goes into there, okay? And like I said, I showed you where that goes. What this does is this comes up the back side of your fork here. And you use this radiator hose clamp. It's essentially what it is. And you put it through there and around your fork. And what happens, I'm going to give you an idea. You want to put this, if you were sitting on the bike, right? If you're sitting on the bike, it would be your left side. Or if you were talking as if it was a car, it would be your driver's side, okay? You want to put this on your driver's side, if it were a car. And being there on that driver's side, what happens is the direction that your axle is going to try to spin, it's going to try and pull this up, because it's held here and it's got a pivot point here. So what's going to happen is this isn't going to go nowhere because it's clamped down tight to your fork. And what's going to happen is it's going to actually pull your axle up into your dropout even tighter. This is a remarkable design, absolutely remarkable design. Now the link that's in the description is for the set of 2, but if you only want to order 1, only need 1, then look at his items in his store, and you'll find he does sell them one at a time as well as he does two at a time. So I believe that's it. That is all the components that you need. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can either send me a message on YouTube, or you can go to our Watchman News Facebook page. If you're interested in any custom cups or custom vinyl cut decals or anything like that, contact me the same way as well. And let's see, I think the next video is probably going to be one out there on the bike, and I'll probably be riding it around a little bit and show you what it'd do. I am pretty positive it'd get up to at least about 25 mile an hour for a 26-inch adult trike. That's not too bad. It might do a little bit better than that, so we will see. So I'm going to put an app on my phone, like a bike computer app on my phone that'll use GPS to tell me speed and stuff like that. I just haven't done that. So there you go. That is all of the components, aside from the bike, that goes into this. Thanks for watching.